My mom, she's doing all of this solo in her 60s, traveling first class, staying in suites, having the most amazing Euro summer. And I want to tell you the significance of this Euro summer because it's a lot deeper than just woman in her 60s goes to Europe. Hello, business owners. Welcome back to the podcast. I am finally here in my new setup home studio. If you guys have been listening, you know that I moved from Texas to California back in the spring. We finally got fully settled. And this is, I think, my first solo episode for the podcast since we moved because I've only had a couple client interviews come out. So I'm really excited for this first solo episode because I have a story to tell you all. My mom is currently in Greece on a multi-week Euro summer of your dreams, kind of Euro summer. She went to see Bad Bunny with my sister in Madrid, and then they went to Sevilla. And then my sister went home because she has to work. And my mom went to Athens, and now she's in northern Greece. And then she's going to go to the beaches in Greece. And then she's going to Rome. And she's doing all of this solo in her 60s, traveling first class, staying in suites, having the most amazing Euro summer. And I'm just like, so happy for her. And I want to tell you the significance of this Euro summer because it's a lot deeper than just woman in her 60s goes to Europe. My mom has been a stay-at-home mom of 4 kids since she was 28 years old. She has been caretaking since she was 28 years old. And when my parents were in their 40s, my dad was diagnosed with a very rare but ultimately fatal form of cancer. He had surgery. He went into remission for about 10 plus years. And then the cancer came back and it progressed. And in 2021, he passed away after his 18-year-long battle. And to say that the last few years of his life were hard is an understatement. They were very challenging. His disease progressed very, very quickly. It was the pandemic. It was a lot going on. My dad died when I was 35 weeks pregnant. I was devastated that he did not survive long enough to meet his very first grandchild. And my mom was devastated. And it was, as you can imagine, like just one of the most horrific things. And on top of all of that, my parents met when my mom was 15 years old. Like, this was her life partner. This was her husband. This was the person that she had literally been with since she was a child. And I'm telling you all of this to say, when my dad got the diagnosis, he became really aggressive about wealth building. Like really, really aggressive. My mom was always an incredible budgeter, and she always, we ate at home. We never ate out. We shopped at thrift stores. She was always so good at managing the family budget. And my dad was a high earner because he was an attorney, and together high earning plus budgeting equals a lot of money left over to build wealth. And what they did was they put together college funds for each of us. Every single one of my siblings and I had our college paid for by my parents. And then he maxed out his retirement accounts every year and then put extra money away on top of that. And the reason he did that was because he knew he was going to die. He knew he was going to die. He didn't know when. And he knew that my mother had no work history. She had no way to financially support herself. So he knew that fell on him. That was his responsibility. So he built an income generating portfolio. And today it's paying all of my mom's bills. So let's go back to my mom's incredible Euro summer. I literally cannot put into words how grateful I am that my surviving parent, who was not the income earner, is financially taken care of. The weight off of my shoulders and my siblings that our surviving parent just gets to live life. And to see her, I'm going to cry, to see her going and enjoying Europe and traveling first class and like having the time of her life. And she's like lively as hell. My mom is going out to bars. She is out. She is not like just, in her hotel. She is out and about. She is having the time of her life. And she hasn't done a solo trip like this since before she was married, since before we were born. I think the last time she went to Europe solo was when she was 21 years old. And I just spoke with her today, and she's glowing. And I was telling my friends about this, and they were like, Gina, do you realize that like your mom's retirement is not normal? And like, of course I realize that, but to see it from their eyes, where their parents are on a fixed income, it's like Social Security or a government pension. It's a fixed income. And like, maybe they can, they have their house, maybe they can go to the beach in the summer, but there's not this level of extravagance. And my mom is doing so much. Not only is she traveling, but she is writing poetry. She wants to get it published. She is such an incredible artist. She's creating so much art right now. Something's fueled her inner creative fire, and she's producing so much. And she's not just on this solo Europe trip. She has friends in across the country, and she's traveling across the country, and she's going to Mexico to visit her sister. And she's just like so full of life. And of course, she grieves my dad. They were together her entire life. They were together more of her life than not. But the fact that there's no financial hardship on top of that existing grief is the biggest blessing. Not only for her, but for our family altogether. When my dad was dying, we didn't have to sell the house. We didn't go into medical debt. My mom didn't have to go back to work. And now that he's gone, I'm not having to, put my mom on a strict budget. She is living it up because of the legacy that my dad left for us. And the thing I want to tell you is that this is not as hard as you think it is. I didn't learn this until later, but my parents didn't really start this process until their late 30s, early 40s. In fact, my dad, he was an attorney. He went to law school, but he went to law school like 5 years later than everybody else because he took a huge gap after high school. He like started college and then dropped out and then was in a band and was like working as a courier around LA and traveling with his band. Like he was kind of a vagabond for those early years of his 20s. So he went to law school late. He graduated late compared to his class. And then I'll never forget. He always told me, they built their first house, the house that I grew up in. They built it from scratch. And he said that when they broke ground on building the house, we call it the pink house because it was painted pink. So when they broke ground on building the pink house, it was his first day as an associate for the law firm. And he told me that they maxed out every single credit card to build the house. I didn't know this. So not only was it the 80s when interest rates for homes were 10%, which are way higher than they are today. But he also maxed out every single one of his credit cards. And I was like, are you crazy? Like, he did not tell me that until I was an adult and could process it. Because as a kid, he was always like, don't go into credit card debt, right? And I'm like, are you kidding? Like, you didn't even practice what you preach. So they had to pay off all of that debt. And then they started wealth building in the later half of his 30s and early 40s. And I know a lot of you who listen to this, or especially who are worried about wealth, are beyond 40. You know that the average age inside of my program, Seven Figure Wealth, is 42 years old. I know a lot of you are not, spring chickens anymore. We're not 22 anymore. And so you don't have the benefit of, time like a 22-year-old does when it comes to the stock market. And yet what I want you to take away from this is that it is 100% possible. 100% possible. And not only is it possible, it is worthwhile. It is so worthwhile. It is worthwhile for you to enjoy a retirement at whatever age, by the way. I'm not saying retirement as in 65. I'm saying retirement as in whenever you're financially independent from your business. It is worthwhile for you to enjoy that time. It is worthwhile for your spouse to enjoy that time. It is worthwhile for your kids not to worry about you. And if you're single or don't have kids, it is worthwhile for you to be self-sufficient and not be worried about how you're going to pay the mortgage or how you're going to pay rent when you no longer can work. I had a call this week with a woman. She is 61 years old. And she told me, she said, when I joined your program, I was so scared. I was so scared and I was so hopeless because I could not see a way out of my debt and a way into retirement. And now I know exactly what to do. And she's like, I'm not on track yet, but the peace of mind of knowing that there is a path that I can take is worth its weight in gold. So I really just want you to know that that is possible for you, that my mom's crazy fun Euro summer is possible for you. And I'm so inspired by her. I'm so inspired by how she's managed her grief, but also how she's moved on with her life, right? She's not just wallowing. She's inviting joy back into her life. She's creating again. She's spending time with us. And I'm so grateful that I am not financially responsible for her. I am so grateful that my dad prioritized wealth building, and I know you will be grateful that you did the same too. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I just wanted to tell you the story of my crazy mom out in Europe having the time of her life. And if you want to know more about how to do this, if you're like, okay, I'm a little scared, Gina, I'm feeling a little hopeless, but if you tell me there's a path, I'm willing to take it, then I want to invite you to join me on July 13th. Is it 13th or 15th? Wait a minute. Yes, it's July 13th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am hosting a brand new masterclass that I've never hosted before called From Debt to Millionaire, where we're going to talk about the 3-step system that you need to pay off personal debt and be on track to be a millionaire and beyond, right? Because a million is great, but there's more beyond a million. So registration is 100% free. I would love to see you there. It's going to be live. It's not going to be pre-recorded, so you can come and bring all of your money questions. I am happy to answer them. And if you can't attend live, but you really want to hear and learn from it, register anyways, because we're going to send the replay immediately out to everybody who registered afterwards. So register. The link will be in the show notes below or at www.ginaknox.co/masterclass. You can register for free. I would love to see you there. And I would love for you to be on the path to wealth as well. All right, take it easy.